Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Entertainment Podcast, your source for all things entertainment. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Ernest White II on the line, and he's a storyteller and founder of Fly Brother. Ernest, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, man. So I'm excited to get into this docu-series that you have coming out, and this is big time. So I'll just give the audience a little bit of a preface. Definitely head on over to flybrother.net. We're going to drop that web address a little later again, but if you're in front of your computer, just go over to flybrother.net while you listen to this because you're not going to be disappointed. So, Ernest, just to get us kicked off, tell us a little bit more about what you're doing over at Fly Brother, please.
All right. Well, again, Adam, thank you very much for having me on the podcast. So Fly Brother right now is a travel docu-series for television. It is centered on friendship and connection around the world. And in every half-hour episode, I go to visit different friends that I've got in their cities. They bring me into their communities, show me what they love about the place, and we show the audience that the whole world is our tribe. And right now we are debuting on public television stations nationwide beginning this week, actually. There's a cascade of debut dates because each public TV station programs their schedules independently. And so we start off in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area on the 1st. We hit the San Francisco Bay Area on the 2nd of May, and we just continue on from there. And then we are nationwide on Create TV in the summer. No definitive dates yet, but they already have signed us up. We're excited to be taking people out into the world. 8 episodes is our first season, and that's what's going on right now at Fly Brother.
Man, that's exciting. And for the listeners, by the time this comes out, so we're recording this on April 28th. We normally have these episodes out within 5 to 10 days, so it is out right now, or will be on certain stations, I should say, right now. And obviously, yes. This is going to be out there forever. So you're going to be able to find it, but on Create TV, you said. Correct? I want to make sure I have that right. Right? Create TV.
Yes. Create TV, and then also, of course, on your local public television station in different markets around the country. Check your local listings. That's what we always say. Because sometimes, even though we may have a scheduled date, there's so many changes happening in the world that sometimes the show gets shifted around and the dates may change. So always check your local listings.
That's awesome. So Ernest,
Thank
first
you.
off, what was the real inspiration behind creating this? Because I know you're a storyteller, I know you're a creator, and I think the series is really interesting. What was the inspiration?
Essentially, I had a travel blog that I used to keep back in the day. I started it about 11 years ago, actually.
Oh, so hold on, like an actual back in the day. No, because let me tell you something, Ernest. These kids nowadays, back in the day means like 2 summers ago. You're like, that's not back in the day, all right? Just because you're 20 does not mean back in the day.
Exactly, man. Back in the day when I was still a fully grown adult, over 10 years ago. I started this travel blog, and it covered kind of my day-to-day activities as an expat American living in Latin America, and it was written from a multicultural perspective, and it was out before Instagram even existed, and a lot of other the social media platforms that we use today.
Pre-IG, also known as pre-IG.
Exactly. Is that what the kids are saying? I don't know, man. But yeah, pre-IG. Okay, prig. And it was basically I was writing. I would write about dispatches from my travels, and so that was kind of the genesis of it. And eventually, through the years, it kind of morphed, and there was more media brought on. And I ended up doing a couple of episodes of a travel show on the Travel Channel called Destination Showdown. And so things kind of evolved from there. A buddy of mine from college was involved with a small startup television network, and he was the one who initially commissioned the show. And unfortunately, they ended up going dark. They went out of business before we even debuted, but we were able to change horses midstream, I guess you could say, and now we're coming out on public television. And so to answer your question, though, basically when I was trying to think about what my main focus would be, there are travel shows that are centered on food and on dance and on ancestry and extreme experiences, but I needed something authentic. And for me, the most resonant thing was the fact that throughout all of my travels, and as a journalist and educator, I've been to over 70 countries, and I'm definitely not the world leader in travel, but I've been to a lot of countries, and throughout those experiences, the main thing that has stayed is the relationship, is the friendship, is the connection that I have made with so many people. And we've got the technology nowadays to maintain those relationships and connections. And that's what I want to share with the world. I want everyone to have that same feeling that I get when I travel, which is we're all one tribe.
So I know this is hard to ask any creator, but because you're saying, okay, choose between all my babies, all the different shows, and this and that. But what is one of the most memorable experiences that you had that you feel viewers are really going to connect with as they watch the series?
Oh man, that's a good question. Like you said, there's so many amazing, phenomenal experiences in every place that we've had. But one of them that I think would be most impactful is our Tajikistan episode. We went to a country that not many people in the United States know about, and not very many travel shows have covered. And so we ended up in the ruins of a medieval Silk Road castle, 3,000 years old, 12,000 feet in altitude, at the edge of Tajikistan, overlooking Afghanistan in these beautiful, breathtaking mountains. And I'm from Florida originally, so, I'm impressed at like a molehill. But these were just some of the most spectacular landforms I'd ever seen. And just being there, being the third camera crew ever to film in this location. The first was a Russian crew. The second was from South Korea. We were the first, not only, we were the third, but we were also the first English-speaking media and from the West to be at that place. And it was just such an impactful moment for me to be making history. And I think you get that when you watch the episode, and not just the natural landscapes of Tajikistan, but the people who are so friendly and welcoming and warm without being very smiley, which is also something I found interesting.
Wow, that's amazing. And next time you're in one of those places, that's why I'm more of a podcaster, because I get to stay remote and people can call me. So you call me next time you're one of those remote locations, and we'll do an episode. Then you can add another first to it. You could say, first time somebody's ever podcasted from there. So we'll add that. But I'm staying in Santa Monica though. Sorry, but you go out there, you do what you have to do. I love it. Be a world explorer. Just give me a call and we'll make that happen.
Well, you happen to be in a nice, pleasant location, Santa Monica. So
I know that's why I'm sending you. That's why I'm sending you. We need boots on the ground out here in media. You know how it is.
Exactly. Right. And someone has to stay in HQ, right? And
it's a hard life. I know.
Exactly. Yes,
oh man. So Ernest, that being said, if somebody wants to follow, they want to learn more about the show, and also just follow your travels and other things that you're doing. I know you got a lot of projects as a storyteller, and in your overall brand. What are the best ways for people to connect with you?
Sure. So with Fly Brother, we've got the website at flybrother.net, where we're also, and this is coming down the pipe, we're building a membership community for people to connect digitally with folks around the world. Obviously, when travel starts again, and it won't be the same, it'll be different, and we'll be traveling hopefully in a much more sustainable way, but we'll also be offering trips and network building experiences out in the world. But in the meantime, we are laying the groundwork to really connect people digitally as we make narrative change in the storytelling space. So that's all at flybrother.net. You can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter at flybrother. Our Facebook page is flybrotherfly. And then my personal website, where I put different types of writing and other projects that I'm working on, is ernestwhite2.com.
Fantastic. Well, Ernest, really appreciate you coming on the show to share more about what you're doing over at Fly Brother and in general with your brand overall and just providing more and more value doing what you do. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review on the Apple iTunes Store, and if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Entertainment, definitely give us a subscribe there, but also leave us some comments in the video. I mean, love to know what kind of projects and things that you're working on. And Ernest, thanks again for coming on the show.